On this episode, I'm going to be continuing on with my Bigfoot cryptid research documentary that I was doing back in from 2013 to 2015. You're watching Cryptid's YouTube channel with me, your host, Jenna Bosiger. And if you're like me and you have an interest in cryptids, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really do appreciate it. On episode 13 about gifting. So I left off in my last episode 12 where I had found the female pictograph on the rock in my Bigfoot hotspot. And I also talked about how there was just this line that I couldn't cross that led into this area that I called the Forbidden Zone. And before that was the kill field. And since I wasn't able to cross that line, I spent a lot of time in the area just before that. And it was during these repeat visits that I began experimenting with gifting. Now, the first gift that I left, I didn't put much thought behind it all. I grabbed a can of Pepsi and I placed it next to one of the big skeletons. And I would come back over the next 3 weeks and I kept walking by and I would see that nothing had changed. The bones were in the same place, the can was in the same place, completely untouched. That is until the third week. And it was around the third week when I went and I noticed, the first thing I noticed was that the can was on its side. And then I noticed that the bones had been completely moved and rearranged. And then I also saw the finger, or, they might have been the soft part of a paw mark, but they were not claw marks. They were finger marks right next to the can of Pepsi. And I wish I would have documented the can of Pepsi when I first found it, but I was so excited that I picked up the can right away and I put it in my backpack to take it home so that I could examine it closer and take photographs of it. So the can hadn't been opened, but whatever got a hold of the can was trying to open it and tried several different times in several different ways to open this can. And one of the first things I noticed on the can were these stretch marks going in opposite directions where it looked like something with hands, and strong hands had taken the can and twisted it like this. And the marks are going in separate directions. So the other thing I noticed that was on the lip of the can, something had bitten into it, something with a fang and obviously strong jaws, because, you think of how hard it is to bite into a can and make a dent on the lip of the Pepsi can. And there was a fang print and some, scratches. So I was very excited by these results, and really quickly after that, I decided I was going to do another gift, and I was going to put some more thought into this gift and try to have some kind of a message behind the gift. After I photographed it, I put the can in my garage, and then later when I looked at it, I guess because of the stretch marks and stuff, the can expanded because it still had the liquid in it. So I opened the can and emptied the liquid out, and I still have the can, and you can still see all of these marks and stuff, but it does look a little bit different because of what happened to the can. Needless to say, I was very excited by these results. So my next idea for a gift was I got an orange, a little mirror, and then I got a little white piece of lined paper and a pen, and I drew a smile face on the piece of paper. Then I rolled the paper like a scroll around the pin and put a little clear band on it. So it was like a little scroll. It had a white and then the pin sticking out. And the paper like rolled around the pen. My idea behind this gift was I wanted to send a message to them, and I wanted them to see their face in the mirror, probably know that I was the one leaving this gift, and that, we have different faces, and then I thought they would see the piece of paper and the pen and the drawing, and hopefully they would understand that I wanted to see them. I wanted them to draw a picture of themselves. And that's why I left that gift. On the backs of my photos, I pieced together a timeline of events. According to these dates, on 10/17/2013, that's when I left the Pepsi can. And so about 3 weeks later, on 11/01/2013, that's when I got the Pepsi can and found the marks on them. Then, on 11/25/2013, in my hotspot, I saw a hole, and the hole had been made by some kind of an animal. There were prints all around the hole, and at first I thought, maybe like some animal attacked another animal in that hole. I didn't know. So I took some pictures, and I didn't take anything. I also saw this dirty hand-woven basket, but I didn't take that. I left everything as it is. And over a month later, I decided to take a closer look at the hole. And so 12/27/2013, I went back to the hole to investigate it a little bit closer. And that is when I pulled out of the hole the Kachina painting. So when I first saw the Kachina painting, for one, I thought I was looking into the eyes of the cryptids that I had been researching in this area for the past year, over a year. The next thing I saw was the orange, like the orange that I had left as a gift, and the unhappy, angry expression on the elder Kachina's face, holding up this orange. And the next thing I saw was the scrolls in the little one's hands. Looked just like the scrolls that I left, with the paper, the white paper, rolled around the pen. And, I saw I was being held back. And then something happened. My imagination took over, and I had a vision of these two cryptids. They were standing in what was my forbidden zone area, and only know about that because I used to look in all the time to the forbidden zone. I didn't cross the line, but I looked in and took pictures, and I used to take pictures of the other side where there was this stone thing that looked like ruins of some kind up at the top of the riverbed rim there. And when I saw these kachinas, I thought that I had this vision that was them in the past, like ancient time, when that stone thing was like a brand new structure, and they were like living out in the open before humans came and before they had to go hiding underground from humans. I got all that before I even took the painting home. But at that point, I was convinced that this painting was, to me, a message from the cryptids in response to my gifting. So I took the painting home to try to decipher more meaning and see if I could find more messages in this painting. I was very caught up in the moment. I found the painting, it was face down. There was a glass and a frame around it, and I just left those things behind and took the painting, which was on a canvas board, and it was kind of a little bit like moist because it had been like in some damp sand, So the fact is that this Kachina painting really changed me. It had a very strong impact on me, and I believe that I got messages from this painting and answers. I feel like I became empathic to wildlife, and I saw humans from their point of view, and that includes me, and I understood why we couldn't be friends, which is what I really wanted. That's the message that I would have wanted, is that let's be friends. That is not the message that I got. Basically, the message that I got was to stop, to just knock it off, leave them alone, and go away, basically. And that I was tempting the young ones' curiosity, and it was not appreciated, and it would end badly for everyone. So the problem with this is that there's a part of my mind that cannot say that this is 100% meant for me. This could have been a coincidence, and I took it and made it into something that it wasn't. And that didn't seem to have any effect on me just taking this all in as reality, imagination, feelings. Coincidence or not, I absorbed everything. It's like I couldn't talk myself out of considering that this was not what I thought it was. And I started to go back and forth, and it was like a non-productive argument. I was criticizing myself for believing in something that I was not going to, I just did. I couldn't not believe in it. I just accepted it. I absorbed it. It changed me. And there's this part of myself to this day that's just like, there's a chance that that's completely stupid. But so the only way, I felt like this was going to drive me insane. At that time, the back and forth in my mind, it was like starting to resonate. And I had to stop thinking about it. I had to let it go. I had to, in a way, accept it. But what I had to do was stop questioning it, because it was going to drive me mad. Since then, I've even gotten more from it. I've just absorbed even more. And, there's still that objective side of me, but it just doesn't matter. And I'm not going to go back to that mental debate trying to figure it out because it was driving me mad. It could have driven me mad if I continue to battle myself like that. For me, this painting was the climax of my Bigfoot research that I talk about, and then the slow descent came because I had to reevaluate things. I had to think about things, and I had to stop thinking about things. I was researching kachinas, and so I all of a sudden abruptly stopped going to my Bigfoot hotspot, which is something I hadn't done for a year, and I had been going more and more frequently, more often, several times a week, and just spending hours there, wandering around, and then I just stopped for a while. And there is still a lot more that happens in my Bigfoot research, like when I finally get into the Forbidden Zone and what I find in the Forbidden Zone. I want to tell you what I learned about gifting from this painting that I didn't know before. Number one, there is a very fine line between gifting and littering. And littering is one of the worst things you can do in a wildlife habitat. So, number two, leaving unhealthy, processed human food for wild animals is, I think it's illegal in most states, one, and it can cause serious pain, make animals seriously ill, and even cause their death. Chocolate can kill animals. Do you know what they're allergic to? No. Should you be bringing them soda? No. So I might sound like a hypocrite, but I'm going to say don't do what I did because I learned that that was not appreciated. I mean, I think you'd be better off maybe just finding stuff in the area, making some design, going back and then seeing if it gets changed at all. Okay, apples. You can bring apples, but people get killed feeding wildlife, like when they're camping and stuff. So, all right, well, I think that's going to do it for this episode about my experience gifting in my Bigfoot hotspot back when I was doing my Bigfoot cryptid research. If you like this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, bye!